Hey guys, welcome back to another video. It's been a little bit since I've recorded anything, but we have still been trading. We actually got out of an AJ trade recently, long. It was a one hour win, trailed stops and got trailed out. So we'll run through that trade a bit later. Let's just dive right into the fundamental analysis for the 25th to the 31st of May. Just as a usual, this is not financial advice. This is merely my take on the markets. Please do as you wish. It is for entertainment purposes only. COT reporting, we have had a little bit of a change in bias right now. Currently, US index is shifting long with some really good. I'm busy. With some really good. I got Pluto. With some really good momentum for the USD. We have AUD actually losing a lot of steam. You can see there's a big shift to shorting and loss of longs. Also with the yen, a change in shorts. So a bit of momentum loss in the yen as well to the short side. So all in all, I'm reading this COT reporting as bullishness in USD and then bearishness in Aussie and yen. For the indices, you can see, at least with US 30, which I trade, we have ticked up into more bullish, so something to note. And then with gold, surprisingly, we also ticked up bullish, so just COT momentum and institutional trading, just something to note. I'm really looking at the dollar right now as the sort of currency to trade. In terms of economic data, we have inflation reading being quite high. We did have PCE numbers being cooler than expected, but for the most part, the inflation readings are better than expected. For economic readings, we did get a bearish change to GDP preliminary, and consumer confidence still remains, up there in terms of forecasting. Aussie, you can see it's a bit of a bloodbath. We have household spending being bearish. We have all worse than expected. We have CPI being worse than expected. Labor market being worse than expected. So really, Aussie right now, I am going to short Aussie, depending on the other currency it's paired with. Yen's actually got a bit of momentum in terms of economic data and labor market. So it's actually ticked quite bullish. In terms of inflation data, still not the best, but we do note economic and labor market are quite good. So we can expect to see that, that inflation reading tick up. If it does, then we will look to long yen, depending on the other currencies as well. Inflation data, we had Aussie CPI, I believe, inflation data. So let's just check if I need to do an update. CPI year on year. Let's see if they've, because I know they didn't update before. Yeah, still hasn't updated. So on this website, it hasn't updated, it still remains the same. I'm just going to keep it there. We did have GDP being slightly worse than forecasted. No change in employment indicators this week. So in terms of from a bias perspective, we have ruled out gold. It's a bearish trend. COT was bullish in terms of with economic data. We have bullish inflation, which is bad for gold, bearish economic, which is good for gold, and a neutral labor market. So nothing to really use. For US 30, we have bullish inflation, which is typically worse for indices. We have bearish economic news, which is obviously bad, neutral labor market, which I count as good. But these two here and the technical trend being bullish, there is no trades right now. AU I could actually short, but the technical trend is heavily bullish still, so we're going to stay on the sidelines. UJ is probably the only one that I would consider trading. We have good COT reporting. Economic news is sort of balanced. The good thing about US is it has bullish inflation data, so I'm happy to long UJ based on, based on the technicals. AJ, I would actually like to trade in favor of the yen, but the technical data is too bullish, so we're just going to leave that on the side. So if we go to the charts, AJ, which we wanted to short, you can see it's still heavily bullish in terms of above the moving average. I would like to see some sort of push down from this area of resistance, and if it does push down, then we can look to hop in a short. AU, you guys can see, I'm going to take this off. We are still above the MA, which means we're in bullish momentum right now still. There was a big shift here, big sell-off, so potentially this might actually hold and we might break this area of support here. If it does break, this MA would shift bearish and we can potentially get in on a short-term play. So something to note. The only thing right now is honestly UJ has ticked up, it has broken higher highs here. So I think I will actually put this right here. Okay, so I'll put this right here. Our stops will be under here or even under here. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But we would like to get in a position here, trail it up. That is something to consider. And US 30 bullish, we are actually wanting in terms of economic reading bearishness, which we don't have, so we're not touching. Gold, we're definitely bearish right now. In terms of economic data, I haven't really got a strong reading for gold. If economic data was better than expected, I would probably short this, but it's not, so we're just going to leave gold on the side. So all in all, we have UJ. We're going to leave it alone, wait till it touches my 4-hour zone and see how that plays out. Now, in terms of my trading and what has happened, so we have ended up this year, May's done and dusted. We have had 1 win, 1 loss for May and made a total profit of $11.18. So we took a loss on AU, we took a win on AJ if we open this up. And in terms of with my comments, we said not the cleanest break in to trail stops, but still there nevertheless for H4. Happy with the trade. On to the next as AUD loses, yeah, fundamental bias. So in terms of the confluence, I had correct daily bias. We had a previous rejection week and we had a stop loss under daily support. So let's have a look at that. Let's actually delve into this trade. So on the daily, you guys can see we're above the moving average. We're in bullish territory. We had H4 marked up here and here, right? We saw this previous H4 rejection wick, went to a bull candle, bear candle, bull candle here. I think I was confident enough. Usually I like 2 candles to show some sort of resistance, but because we've had a big rejection wick here, I decided to get in here. Stop loss was actually down through here on the daily rejection wick here. It's just a bit too tight here in my opinion. There's a rejection wick here, but we've got one here as well. We've got another one here. It's just too... I would have hated to put it under here, get stopped out and having to get in again to actually, in another zone. Potentially the price would have already pushed up and we wouldn't have got in, right? So enough of a sign to get in the trade in terms of with the stop loss. I'm happy I've popped it here, trailed it here as soon as it pumped up, and then came in with a small win, a 1R. It could have been, let's just see for scenario's sake how it played out, but let's have a look here in terms of trailing stops. So obviously we're focusing on H4 now. We have come back here, broken here, which was where we trailed stops and we got taken out. I did trail here previously, and you guys can see it pumped up. It might pump up even more, but it is what it is at that point. Let's actually play scenarios just for now, just for the sake of it, is if we got into here, trailed here, got here, yeah, so look, that could have been a 3-1, right? Could have definitely been a 2.5 at least, 2.5 file. But if I got taken out here, and I lost 2R, playing worst case scenario, being more logical, and you don't know what the markets are going to do, I would have taken a 2R loss versus just a 1R gain. I'd take that any day of the weeks, you know what I mean? So happy with this trade. We're out of it now, so we don't really give a fuck about it right now. We're going to focus on UJ as a potential play, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Peace.